jQuery provides a great way to build cross-browser, JavaScript-enabled applications. And in this module, I've introduced you to the core fundamentals that you need to know to reference the jQuery scripts, look up documentation, and know when the DOM has been loaded. So as a real quick recap, we went to jQuery.com and we talked about the two different scripts that are available. So you can get the developer script, which has the pretty formatting, it's much larger, and then you can get the more production-ready script, which is very, very small, nice and minimized, compressed. We also talked about the reasons you might want to even use jQuery in the first place. And some of my main reasons are it's very popular, and obviously popularity is not a reason to go with something. However, in this case, it's a good thing because there's a lot of developers out there building websites that use jQuery, which means there's a lot of sample code, a lot of blogs and articles that are available. And it's just a fun library to use. It's very productive. As we go and delve more into jQuery in the upcoming modules and talk about things like selectors and DOM manipulation and events and AJAX, you're going to see that it just gets better the more you know about it. It really is a fun library to work with and very, very productive. In addition to the cross-browser features, though, some of the upcoming modules we'll talk about, such as the AJAX module, happen to be some of my favorites. It really does make it easy to integrate distributed data into your apps. But circling back to this module, we talked about those reasons that it's a popular library and why it's fun to work with, but we also talked about the ready function, and that was kind of your first introduction to what you'll see in the next module is a jQuery selector. We wrap the dollar parentheses around the document object, and then we called .ready, and that would automatically call into a function once the DOM is loaded up into memory. So we talked about that as well. And then finally, we wrapped up, and if I didn't emphasize it enough, you definitely want to spend time in the jQuery documentation. The better you get to know that documentation, the more productive and better you're going to be as a developer. I'd love to say I've memorized every single function. I've heard of probably all of them, but I haven't necessarily used all of them on a weekly or even monthly basis. But I can say I can find it very fast in the documentation because I've spent a lot of time in there. So spend the time, it'll pay off. And that'll wrap up this particular module. Some really good stuff coming up. We're going to talk about jQuery selectors next, and then we'll move on to some other exciting topics.